Everybody, my name is Simon Rickard. I'm from Mirabel, Quebec, Canada, and this is my CS50 funnel project. If you wish to follow along the video, the website is currently online at Xwind.app, and it's also free to use for anybody that wishes to use it. Depending on when you will watch the video, the website might look a little bit different since I will continue updating it in the future. So first of all, I work as a flight dispatcher, so for my final project, I decided to create a website to help my coworkers and other fellow dispatchers in Canada, in the United States, and maybe even worldwide. And yeah, so basically, I just said I was a flight dispatcher. So what is a flight dispatcher? I'll give you a link to a Wikipedia article that explains it in more details if you wish to read more into it. But to summarize, a flight dispatcher is responsible for maintaining operational control on multiple flights, which includes the creation of flight plans, assuming flight watch on those same flights once they are airborne, and also shares a legal responsibility with the captain of any given flight. So, with many industries today, aviation is also trying to increase its efficiency. That usually means creation of specialized software, and those can be sometimes very expensive. So my goal with this project is to democratize some resources, to centralize them in one location. Some might be sometimes open source, but they are scattered all over the place. Some are actually governmental information that are publicly available for anybody to go, but you have to go on many different websites. My goal is just to centralize everything in one location and have them made available for free for many people to use it. So for the website itself, you'll see that it's a very simple interface, but I want it to look still somewhat modern. There's a dismissible warning here that says it's still in the beta stage, so I'm just going to right click here. You can also get rid of it by logging into the website. So I'm going to do this right now, and it was already saved. Was already saved, and here I am. I'm logged in. So the goal here, as you can see, I logged in. I'm going to log out, but there's no option to register, right? If I just go out, there's no option to register anywhere. And that's intentional because I want to limit who's going to be able to register to the website because there might be proprietary data eventually. So it might just be from myself and my co-workers, right? It might not be available publicly. But this is something I'll have to see. Maybe eventually there's going to be multiple tiers of basically access in between users. So this is also something I could work with. As you can see, there's also the airport section that just appeared that wasn't there earlier, but it's still not done. Like weather, no times, airports are still all coming soon because I haven't had the time to get to it yet. Okay, now to the core of the website. So you see there's a big input box here in the middle. So it's basically right there. So you can enter either the IQ or the IATA code, which is either the 4-letter or the 2-letter code. So for Toronto, that would be either CYYZ or simply YZ. It seems very similar to in the United States. So let's say Boston, there's key BOS or BOS only if you want. So let's go to Toronto right now. YZ. So first of all, the first thing I would like to mention is that all of the data is pulled entirely asynchronously because I basically wanted to limit how many times the website was going to load. It's a pretty light website. There's not a whole lot of things going on, but it still uses Bootstrap. It still has a lot of JavaScript, and sometimes for phones, smartphones, it can be a little bit problematic. And I wanted to create something that was mobile first, mobile friendly. And if you come here using the tool in Chrome, as you can see, it's entirely responsive. So it doesn't really matter what size screen you have, it will work just fine every single time, right? It's not great looking, but the goal is to be able to use it basically similar to an application, but it's all web-based for phone users. So now what's all that gibberish, right? There's a lot of data present right now, so let's go through it. I'm just going to walk you to explain basically what is being shown. The first thing that you can see is here is a METAR. What's a METAR? METAR is a weather observation made at the Toronto airport at 15 Zulu, which means UTC, and it has a bunch of information, right? What's highlighted in blue here basically are the winds. So they're coming from 290 at 16 knots and gusting at 27 knots. It says there's 15 miles of visibility, there's few clouds at 4,000 feet, few clouds at 14,000 feet. The temperature is 0 degrees Celsius. The dew point is -4, and the altimeter is 3013. So the altimeter is something that the pilots are going to use, but it's also a pretty good representation of what the atmospheric pressure, what it's like right now. So, and just below it, you can see there's a TAF, and it says same thing again from Toronto, and there's at what time the forecast was made because it's a forecast. So, terminal TAF is for terminal area forecast. So let's go to the left-hand side here. There's Toronto Airport here, and as you can see again, similar as what I just said, 15 Zulu, 15 Zulu 290 at 16 knots, gusting at 27. So you can see 290 at 16. The 27 is not here because it will be much more complicated. There's no point, and I'll show how basically to work around, but it's not exactly required most of the time to use the gusts. Anyway, legally speaking, I mean it's not exactly required. So, and okay, here there's previous and next. So those two buttons, what do they do? When you click previous or next, it will basically cycle through all the winds that are available in the forecast and in the METAR. So the goal is to simply be able to see what the winds are going to do in the forecast in the future when, let's say, when you get into Toronto, because you would look at it before departing. So that's what the goal are. And as you can see, all the headwind and crosswind, everything changes here, and I'll get to that in a second. And now, if you're wondering, here, as you can see, the boxes are clickable, and when you click the boxes, you can actually just replace the 16 by, let's say, 27 to go see what the gusts are at 27 here. So you simply put 27. When you do that, it shows manual input on the left here to basically tell you to so that you know it's not coming from anywhere else here. So there's nothing highlighted right now. But you can see there's a lot more red also here because, well, the winds are much stronger now at 27 knots. You can either place 16, you can see it's still highlighted, or you can click previous or next and see, go back to cycling through the winds. So now what's the table here? So the first one is the asphalt, and as you can see when you hover the mouse over any of those runways, it gives you the information. So now they're grouped in pair. So 05 and 23 are basically opposite of each other. They're on the same asphalt strip, but 05 is at one end, 23 is at the other end. And so they group in pairs and also group by length. So generally speaking, not always the case, but at many places, it also gives you a good information, a good starting point to see which runway you might want to use. So now there's the add and tailwind section here, which shows you what the basically how much headwind or tailwind you're going to have on any given runway. Now you need to understand that those winds are in magnetic degrees, so they're from 290 290 from 2 degrees here, and but the runway data is also always in magnetic, so that's why if you do it yourself right now quickly, you might realize that it doesn't really fit, but that's normal because there's a declination, a magnetic declination you have to apply to the winds and everything. That's all done by the program here. You can see on the crosswind how much crosswind you're going to have. So the colors are just, I mean, they're arbitrary. They're just trying to give you a little bit of a heads up, basically. If you're in yellow, that means that you might still be able to do it. For a lot of airlines, you might still be able to do it, but it's not ideal. And when you're in red, that generally means doesn't mean you can't do it. Just means that just watch yourself, right? So they're just colors. It just started trying to catch your attention, basically. And now on the right hand side here in the last column, you have the minimum CRFI related to the crosswind. So with 14.3 knots of crosswind here, you need a minimum CRFI of 0.39. What is a CRFI? CRFI stands for Canadian Runway Friction Index, which you could actually see somewhere in that text. If there was any, you could see that for a runway here, but it's not. The weather, like the runway, is in good condition over there, so that's not a problem. And if you click on minimum CRFI here, you can actually see the chart, right, for the Canadian Runway Friction Index and how much crosswind you're going to have with how much headwind. And all of that is done. All the calculation is already done for you. Just, if you liked it for reference, just to double check. Um, Right, and so that's basically it. There's going to be eventually more stuff coming in. There's going to be no time information with probably highlighting some keywords similar to how the wins are highlighted here. There's going to be automatic keywords highlighting so you catch your attention on some no times that might be more problematic than others. There's going to be multiple weather if you just want to have weather yourself for different airports. Might be able to also highlight different stuff coming in into uh, from the meters or the tabs if possible. There's going to be we're going to be able to also modify the database itself. All of that's going to be available at some point in the future, but right now it's a nice looking project. um, there's the biggest part I think is just all of the amalgamation of the data that's pulled from different places and all put in the same place right here, which is the core of the project, and that's already being done. Now it's just a matter of uh, creating other pages and being able to display all of that information correctly. And well, I hope you liked it, and well, have a wonderful day.